All right, guys, we're back. Masters in Motion. I'm Jason Grubb. I'm here with Rick Stevenson, and this is our Christmas episode. I am wearing a flannel because it's actually kind of chilly here in Birmingham, Alabama. I do have the hot tub preheating because it's a family night in the hot tub tonight after dinner. You know, it's what we at the end of the day on a Wednesday. Wednesdays are hard training days, and I think a little hot tub tonight, a little sauna in the morning, it's going to work out perfectly. And so I've got my flannel on. Rick, clearly you are ready for the season.
I have my
For
Santa
those that
ugly sweater. Yeah, go ahead.
describe this sweater, so those that are not watching on YouTube, and this podcast is available on YouTube on my YouTube channel, Jason Grubb. It's also available on whatever podcast app that you listen to. But if you're only listening to this, Rick is going to describe this sweater he's wearing right now, and you're going to probably have to go to the YouTube video to see what it actually looks like.
We're talking Santa on the top of a house, like he should be, in a very festive scene with Rudolph next to him, under a moon and some stars. And given the long night that he has on his sleigh, he has to find time to relieve himself. The Santa has taken a leak off the house, and unfortunately, the batteries died in the sweater. Else, it would even be more interactive for our YouTube viewers on your channel. So, it is only worn at ugly Christmas sweater parties, which are not that often. It is not worn around the house nor out in public. Unless there's not going to the grocery store with this Saturday.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you headed to an ugly Christmas party today, or are you coming back from an ugly sweater Christmas party?
I had a neighborhood street party, holiday party a couple weeks ago, and I did not wear it then. So in honor of the season and recording with you, I had to pull it out because if I don't wear it now, it's not going to get worn this year. So
there we go. Okay.
It's all for you.
It's allowed. And it is glorious. The Santa urinating is great. And for those of you, if you don't know Rick, I think everyone on the planet realizes that Rick, you're a very conservative human being. You know, you wear a collared shirt to work when you work, and I don't think I've ever heard you. Maybe I've heard you cuss. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
you're really straight laced. But the fact that this is the ugly sweater that you wear, it's opening up another new layer, another new level of me getting to know you. So there is
relationship exploration between us.
Yeah, we're expanding. All right, well, let's jump into the podcast tonight. We are going to chat about a few things that we think are kind of fun. We'll recap Legends, the Legends Championship that happened this past weekend. We'll talk about the games and the unified games in California. We haven't talked about that yet on the show. We're going to touch on semifinals because we've got a little more information from the rule book about semifinals. Also, I do want to share some thoughts that I have about how I'm going to approach semifinals this year. And then we're going to finish with dessert, but not really dessert. We've ended the show a few times with some picks. Tonight, we're going to share our favorite Christmas foods. I have 3. Rick has 3, and they're going to be great. I can't even imagine with you wearing that sweater what you're going to say your favorite Christmas food is. Fruitcake, something. I don't even know, but we're going to save it for the end.
We'll save it for the end.
So let's jump into the Legends Championship.
This episode is powered by Thirdsy, your go-to for game-changing sleep recovery. Imagine hitting your workouts harder and waking up feeling unstoppable. That's what Thirdsy's PM Recovery Collagen does for me. It's like pre-workout, but for your sleep, fueling your body's active recovery processes without any melatonin or sedatives. Just 1 scoop before bed supports deeper, more restorative sleep so you can crush your fitness goals. Ready to experience the best rest and recovery? Visit Thirdsy.com and transform your nights into recovery power hours. Thirdsy, because sleep is the ultimate recovery tool. That's THIRDZY.com. Save 20% with code JASONZZZ. Let's get into the show.
There's our transition. We now use effects in here because we just found
it's a professionally run group.
Well, you were not out at Legends. I was. So as a spectator from the outside, what did you observe, and what questions do you have for me about the Legends Championship? Tell me your thoughts.
It was really through social media, and I think the social media team did a good job with dramatic reels and fun excitement. Made it, having been out on site there, I could picture where you were and what you were doing. through some videos of some other posts, I was able to get a good feel for the intensity of the workouts. Knowing what the workouts were, was really curious to see how people attacked them. And there were only a couple that I found that they had a partner or a friend live stream the entire piece. So then I could watch it all. But I was, you know me, I yearn for that kind of content, and having nothing streamed, it was a little, left me wanting, like, oh man, I've been there before. I like the programming. The venue's fun. The people are great. I didn't get to see any of it, or much of it.
You know what's funny about the stream? Now that you mentioned that, the Boulder athlete, our leadership team, there's 4 of us,
Hmm.
myself, Aaron, Adam, and Josh. And
Hmm.
3 of us were in an Airbnb out there. We 3 families, so we all had kids out swimming in a pool there, and staying there. So we stayed in an Airbnb, and the last night afterwards, we were sort of talking about, man, there's got to be a solution that is cost effective. It doesn't have to be amazing, but good enough to share what people would want to see in a live stream. And
Hmm.
then we were talking about, like, there are little league soccer games that have a camera like up on a stick that will actually track individual players around the field
Hmm.
based on their number using AI and all this. And we were realizing, like, there are some solutions in other sports, even like
Hmm.
little league sports, that could give a bit of a live stream or some sort of a way for people to see the action. Like, obviously, when we're at the games or an event like that, there's a budget, there's a bit more of a live
Hmm.
stream. But even at an event as big as Legends, which is one of the premier Masters events, it feels like there should be some solution. So the Boulder Athlete crew, we are thinking
On it.
on this because I've got some really smart people around me, and they may be able to find something here. I will say that the weekend was uh, really fun. It's very hard to not be competing. I've competed at Legends every year since 2020, so 5 years in a row,
Yep. Yep.
2020 through 2024,
Hmm.
and I love the competition. It's always a very challenging competition. I've often felt uh, more worked at the end of a Legends championship than the CrossFit Games. This year, I had a hand in programming, which I both loved, and it was hard. It's a lot of stress, a lot of
Hmm.
pressure. Certainly was expecting to see. I was trying to Hiller proof the competition in a sense, like
That's good.
I went through all of it, with a fine tooth comb over and over and over again to make sure, like, is there anything in here that Andrew Hiller is just going to destroy? And maybe he will in retrospect. I don't know, and I don't. I'm not afraid of that. I also am not programming with that in mind when I was trying to when I was working with Joe. This wasn't
Hmm.
like I didn't deliver workouts. He and I worked together on the events. But what we were
Oh,
trying to do. Go ahead.
yeah. I was going to real quickly when you just said that
Yeah.
before I forget. Did he give you an idea of how many he wanted each day, and then times
Yeah.
that would fit because he knew heat schedules, or he knew how many events or how long something could run? And did that he give you that very early, and you took that and
So
started to run? Or
that's a great question. What he had was like 6 slots for workouts, and we
okay.
knew that one would be a swim. We knew one would be a lift. And
Hmm.
that was basically the framework we started with. We didn't even
Yep.
start with time domains. We just knew that we would have 2 events per day, because given the amount of judges and volunteers and the amount of heats that you have to get through at a master's competition,
Hmm.
34 heats per workout, you've got to get through
Right.
out there. So you have to be, you have constraints. And one of the constraints is the amount of volunteers and judges that are available. Another constraint is the amount of time in a day that you can work those
Right. Sure.
volunteers.
Yep.
Another constraint is the fact that out there, you've been out there, upstairs, there's the ice rink and it's a
Hmm.
concrete floor. You can have a heavy barbell up there, but there's no
Hmm.
rig up there. On the main floor, there's a rig, but it's a basketball floor underneath. You cannot drop a heavy barbell on that floor. So
Hmm.
another constraint is the fact that if there's a rig, you cannot have a heavy barbell. If you're up with a heavy barbell, you don't have a rig. So you're trying to find the best tests within those constraints and also within the equipment constraints. we don't have ski ergs out there. There's no bike ergs.
Okay.
There's no eco bikes. So you have rowers available.
Did he give you an equipment list and say, here's what you do have, here's what you won't get?
What we did, we just jumped as we worked through these on Zoom calls. We were essentially like, hey, workout 1, here's the stimulus we're going for. And it was a swim.
Okay.
Actually, our initial thought for workout 1, we wanted to have people in the pool and then get out of the pool and do a run and then a kind of a sandbag carry, try to use the outside field and really, really kind of maximize that environment.
Right. Yeah.
And then we realized really with the amount of heats to get through, and the only way to get from the pool to the field is through the building. We would have people with wet bodies or wet feet traversing through a building to get there. And it made that dangerous. And we realized we couldn't do that. And then with the amount of heats, we decided, so we had a couple of different plans for a pool event. And we kept bumping into time constraints. If you have a 15-minute workout at the pool, you're looking at like 14 hours of time or something like that. It's some insane amount of time because of transition times, all that. So we narrowed it down to this 50-meter swim, interval style. Each round is for time, 5 times. It was really fun. It worked out really well. So it was like that. And so with each workout, we're like, okay, well, let's on day 1, we want to do the swim and a heavy lift. And with the heavy lift, it was just a decision like, hey, last year it was sort of a clean complex. My preference is to not test max anything. So I don't love a max snatch. I don't love max effort. You tend to increase the risk so high. And that is what competition is for. You definitely increase risk in competition, but I wanted to minimize that, being that this is middle of the off season. So we thought a snatch plus 3 overhead squats would cause people to dial back the total squat weight or the snatch weight because there's 3 overhead squats.
Yep. You're not just done standing it up. You actually have to move with it.
And you're also, you're testing both power and mobility, agility. Did I say mobility? Strength. You're testing multiple things in one complex, if we want to think of it that way. And we want all ages to do it. We were tempted to have the 60 plus, 65 plus do front squats instead of overhead squats. And we really wanted every athlete at this competition, from 35 years old to 75 years old, I think was the oldest participant, to be able to, if they got there, touch every single movement. So 70 plus overhead squats.
Okay.
They did them. They just did them. And it was fine. And then we move into day 2 and day 3. We're trying to find, how do we round out this competition with fast to medium length workouts to slightly longer. The longest time domain, I believe, was 15 minutes, and this was the final workout.
Right.
But again, if you have this is a 3-day competition. If you have a 4th day in this competition, you can test something long. Maybe you have one long event, and that's what you test on day 1 or in one of the days. This is a 3-day event, 6 events. It would be great to do 8 events or 9 events or 10 events over 4 days, but these were the constraints. And so this is what we're doing. Our only snafu, I think the overall weekend, was that there was an error from Rep Fitness, the equipment supplier. We had a sandbag as part of a workout 3, and Rep Fitness Joe, they let us know a few days before the competition, hey, we goofed. Sandbags are not coming. And so Joe and I were trying to figure out how we acquire sandbags, buy sandbags, fill sandbags, or change a workout that had the sandbag in it. So it was unfortunate. Sandbags are really fun. It was a bummer that we had to do that. So that was a change that was made. And then the final workout was a cut. So we knew that there was going to be a cut. This was something that Joe had already planned. So we knew the final workout was going to be the top athletes from each division. And in my mind, I wanted to increase the skill requirement for the final workout, knowing that the athletes that get there will probably be the highest skill athletes. So I had done we had done, if I say you too, we had done in preparation for the games this year, we had done a version of the ring muscle up biathlon.
Mm-hmm.
but we did it in training, and it was 15, 12, 9 ring muscle ups. We had a C2 bike uh, buy in, and then in between each ring muscle up set. And if we broke a set, we had to do a 200-meter bike erg. So we did that in training.
Yep.
And I loved it. I loved it in training, and I thought, man, this would be so fun to test. So I threw it out to Joe. I was like, hey, what do you think about like the ring muscle up biathlon kind of feel? 15, 12, 9, unbroken sets. If knowing that people are going to break, so let's have a penalty to play with that strategy. And we really were very close to being able to make this happen with C2 bikes. But the budget for Legends would have required the purchase of 15 C2 bikes.
That's
and they weren't quite ready
amount.
to do.
No.
No, it's $25,000. They decided not to do that. So we made it shuttle runs. We were just looking for really a monostructural movement that wasn't jumping. So we can't, no double unders. We've already got that. No box jumps. We've already done that. No rowing. We've already done that. Well, running, we hadn't done that. So we could go with shuttle runs.
That was my only question, is why was you had the shuttle runs in between, but then you had the penalty as the shuttle runs too. But there was no way else to make the penalty something that wasn't going to be a duplicate of what you had in between the muscle. Okay.
It was, and again, kind of holding to that muscle up biathlon from the games. They had a long run, and if they broke the ring muscle ups, they had to do a 200-meter run.
That's true. So there were 2 runs there. Okay.
It was a run, and so we knew that we couldn't fire off just a ridiculous penalty, right? It was we wanted the penalty to be something that incentivized athletes to go unbroken if they could, but not so severe that if you need to break multiple times and that's part of your strategy, that you're not going to go out there and run. You're not going to run an extra mile because of penalties. This was intended to be very much a gymnastics endurance style event, and so there were a few athletes in each division. 49 and under.
Okay.
I think every division 49 and under had somebody or some more than one person that went unbroken. 15, 12, 9.
15, 12, 9. Okay. That's what you would have
straight unbroken
attempted, right?
Ninjas, ring muscle up ninjas. And the straps were short, so they were a little easier. And then, in every division, every single division, except for, I would say, I think the ladies 65 plus, 70 plus did not complete ring muscle ups. Every other division, you had athletes that completed muscle ups. So in those older divisions, above 60, they had to earn their way to ring muscle ups. So they had toes to ring on round 1, ring pull ups on round 2, round 3 was ring muscle ups. And there was a 70 plus male that completed the workout and hit his final 4 ring muscle ups. It was truly amazing. And when you heard a 60 plus, there was a 60 plus woman that I think got her first ring muscle up, or maybe first 2 ring muscle ups out there. The crowd was cheering, celebrating these achievements. It was really, really remarkable. And then in the younger age groups, you also had different strategies. You had people that would decide, okay, I'm going to go 6-5-4 on the round of 15 in order to manage the shoulder fatigue. So they chose their penalties wisely and their breakup strategy wisely. So I think it was really funny because that workout wasn't released until Saturday night, the night before the final day. And it was going to be after a cut. So the morning of Sunday, I had a few athletes come up to me and said, what were you thinking? This is just going to be, well, one person said, this is just going to be so boring. Like, you're just going to be people just standing there under the rings.
No, they're going to be running.
Same athlete, and she's a friend of the show. Same athlete came up to me or sent me a text message after the competition, said the ring muscle-ups were actually really great to watch. It was a really, really great event to watch. And that's what we were hoping for, obviously. I mean, it was super scary to program a gymnastics biased workout at the end. But when it's all said and done, an event like this is 6 total workouts, and you've got a swim specialist workout to start off with, a lifting specialist. You could say that as a second event. You have a lot of CrossFit in the middle. You have a bit of a gymnastics bias on the final event. But when it comes down to it, you're doing the best with what you've got.
Well-rounded. You're looking for well-rounded. Right.
That's all you're trying to do. And it's never perfect. You could tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak, but we saw some pretty remarkable things. It was entertaining overall for the weekend for the fans, I believe. And we were super stoked as Boulder Athlete to provide leader jerseys on day 2 and day 3 to the leaders in each division. So you have to plan ahead for that. Like there's 16 divisions total per day. Small, extra small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL shirts. You have to plan for all of that. You're not printing that the night before. You have them in stock there. And then we also provided podium jerseys.
Let me guess. Is the Grubb family running around in extra leader jerseys right now? Is that going to be your Christmas photo or anything like that?
I'm going to say that I have never worn a leader jersey until this 2XL that I have left over.
It's a good
so if you see me
shirt,
walking around in a 2XL leader jersey, it's because, yes, there were a couple left over. And yes, I'm pretty sure my wife wore a leader jersey to bed last night. So she's, it's like,
awesome.
He was huge. So, yes, there was a couple of extras, and they're ones used. This says 2025. Leader jerseys. So we're really excited to bring that to the Masters community. Really cool.
Are you going to do this again?
So it was really cool. Oh yeah, we'll do it again.
Okay.
We have big plans for leader jerseys for Masters athletes. We loved seeing, particularly female athletes that they knew they were going to wear a leader jersey, wearing their red leggings or red.
My gosh, yes,
bottoms.
That's right. Yeah.
So you've got just athletes out there looking like Tia Toomey. They're just out there all coordinated. It was super cool. Because they knew they were leader. They're going to pick their jersey up that morning and wear it for the day. So really cool.
Fun. See, I guarantee you get some good feedback about that.
And I'll tell you what, the athletes were impressive. I know that for some athletes, you've got someone like Jen Dieter in the 50-plus age group who wins the entire competition and who tells both you and me prior to the competition, she's not very fit right now. She's not, kind of been doing classes. Like, look, Jen Dieter is a formidable opponent.
Absolutely.
Guaranteed that. So those that are listening, Jason Lucanon, if you're listening, he won the 50-plus division. Joey Hushman is 49. He took second place in the 45 to 49 division. I've got my eyes on all these guys. I was out there working my tail off and taking notes on the athletes that I plan on having to compete against this year. You got to do it. Pay attention.
A little bit of that. Oh, I'll tell you, it looked like, there were a few athletes I was looking for that I saw on the leaderboard that did not make the trip or had to withdraw for various reasons. But I still think those that did show up, there were a lot of people that I wanted to follow, was curious about performance. How are they doing at this point in the season? So, again, I hope you guys use AI and solve the streaming
some sort of video
issues because the community could certainly use that. I'm sure you're not the only ones thinking about it, but let's get something done in 26.
I mean, we all have a phone in our hands. We all have a camera in our hands. And live streams and Instagram live streams, those all work well, but there's got to be a way to create a bit of a coordinated effort so that families and friends can see their loved ones compete. Simple enough.
Right.
Okay. So Legends, phenomenal. Questions were brought up out there. Like, is there going to be a Legends next year, or is Legends only going to be semifinals and the games? As far as I know, it's my understanding that the Legends Championship will be there in 2026.
Okay.
So I don't believe it's going to be in Arizona, but I think they have every intention of hosting that competition. I mean, they've got to be coming up on their 10th year anniversary in 2026, 2027, something like that.
Right.
So
Started out at OC or no? Their gym. Yeah, in San Diego. Were the students still in? Had the semester ended, or because I remember the time I was out there, they were still no one around.
Bro, I have no idea. I mean, I saw students walking around. It wasn't
they're probably still there.
Super busy, but it seemed like there were students hanging around. Seemed like
because when that group, and I follow that the competition that happens earlier in the fall, the Desert City Classic, they use the same venue, a lot of the same, I think it's the same equipment supplier and such. It's set up, the floors look like they're set up the same way. That's already probably smack dab in the middle of the semester. Now with you guys at the tail end, and I'm sure maybe Joe might want to move it closer to
to
It
SoCal. And now
originated in California. I mean, why
it
not
did.
get it back there? You don't have a mask mandate and anything like that
Yeah.
nowadays.
I think they've always loved it in California. He's in California. I think with
Right.
semifinals in California as well, it can be more efficient for everything to be over there,
Sure.
just from a
Good
storage
point.
standpoint and all that. But we'll see.
Okay. Looking forward to it.
All right.
Got to get healthy first.
Yes, sir. You get healthy, and that sweater's going to help for sure.
Yeah,
All right, Rick.
absolutely.
Shifting gears, update us, my friend, on the games. The games location was announced, and
Yep.
tell us about that.
Yeah, you and I were laughing beforehand. They made the announcement that they're bringing everybody back together, as was rumored to be the case for the 20th anniversary of the games. San Jose, and the joke that we had beforehand is the Masters and the Adaptives will be San Jose adjacent, or the SAP Center will be hosting teams and individuals, elites. And then I think it is the convention center, which is just a couple of blocks away. You could look at it on the map there. That will be hosting the rest of the folks, and the week will be staggered like it was way back in the day. Talking about your days in Carson, where they would get the Masters done Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There'd be an overlap for the elites going Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday type of thing. I don't have my calendar in front of me. Is it the 21st through the 23rd? Is it only 3 days?
I think
year?
it's something like that. I do.
Right.
Yeah,
We've come up
3 days.
A couple of 4-day Masters games. Now I think we're shrinking it to 3, and that I think is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Correct.
Yeah. So of July, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. So the city, if you've been listening to Dave's weekend reviews that he puts out weekly, he's been pretty forthcoming with the information. He tells us when it's allowed to be released. They're excited. He and his team have toured the venues. They're what I picked up here. This is important for us to hear. What I did pick up from him the last time is the people that programmed and ran the games, like say this year, for example, Legends, Wheelwad, those folks are going to be in charge of the events themselves again. But I can only imagine, and I think you would agree too, in that because you're going to be so close and with HQ, there'll be a lot more oversight and cooperation and collaboration this year, having everybody on the same footprint, if you will.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. And I do know that even after last year, Boz was out at our games, and I know that there was a lot of feedback around, workouts. Even Joe shared this with us, that they had a lot of feedback around workouts, a lot of ways to make things more efficient, more simple in workouts.
Right.
Not easier, but more simple, so we're not dealing with kettlebell standards on the fly, those kinds of things.
Yep.
And that'll all be welcome. The questions that I am curious about, I don't love that it's 3 days for us instead of 4 days.
Right.
But I think I understand why Masters go first, teens go second, Wheelwad goes third. I loved having the teenagers with us last year. I loved that we were going at the same time as them in the same venue.
Right.
But I think what that ended up doing was taxing the volunteer staff. I'm learning all about the volunteers and the judges.
Yeah. Sure.
And, when you have the teenagers, that adds, 3 or 4 heats per division, depending on how many teenagers there and what the workout is. And that adds this, it's just additional workload, right? To extend the day of that volunteer. And when you have the games or the individual games and the teams and the amount of volunteers it takes to run that, and then you have the Masters games, the teenage games, for lack of better words, and the adaptive.
Yeah.
This is like every volunteer and every judge that has ever existed will all be there. Like this is a maximal. This is a crazy huge thing, and I know that they were able to do this in Madison all together, so they're super familiar with how to do this. But absolutely. I think now they're gonna make that even more efficient, or at least this is what I'm hoping. I'm hopeful that it's really efficient. I'm hopeful that in 3 days we have something like 8 events. That's we're doing maybe 2 or 3 events on certain days, because there's the teenagers aren't there. It's crammed into the 3 days. Um, I hope it's not like 6 events over
Yeah.
or 3
Yeah.
days for the
Yeah.
games, but
Right.
I think they know that. I think they will do everything they can to maximize the the test. And what would be really cool, would be super cool, like CrossFit, please unify something, right? We're all together.
Yep.
So I know a couple of years ago we did the workout Helen and the elite
Yep.
athletes did Helena, whatever they called it. I don't know, whatever they called
Right.
it. Um,
And
man,
the
let's do
5K.
something. And a
Everybody ran a
5K,
5K. Yeah. Everybody
right?
ran a 5K that year. Yep. So, and that's
They all ran a
truly
5K.
the way. In other years in Madison too, they tried to have at least one workout where everybody,
Right.
the standard was the same for it, or not the standard, but the idea of the workout was the same for everybody.
Yes. Like like, so beyond just being near the same location,
Right.
let's do something. I mean, it'd be really cool. I don't know. I'm gonna that. I've got ideas. I've got lots of ideas. I've got lots of ideas, and I just need to share them with Dave.
Well, I was
going
going to say you and the rest of your council members have the voice.
Yes.
I mean,
yep.
I'm sure. I can't imagine what percentage of stuff is already done and complete and ready. If they're releasing venues and dates this far in advance, they have a pretty good idea what's going on. Not the elephant in the room is who is buying CrossFit, or is anybody buying it, or this. I mean, that's all circulating out there, and I'm not going to claim I know anything more than anybody else. In fact, I'm really trying to stay away from it. Like, I'll read it when it releases. I don't really care right now because it's not me. I'm not involved, but I'm sure that's on HQ's staff too. I'm such a sports nerd about things. When you were saying that, notice about every judge, every volunteer who's ever done anything will probably descend onto the San Jose area. I was like, man, those dates in July, those sound familiar. Does that conflict with the World Cup? Because all this World Cup and tickets and all this kind of stuff. World Cups, they are hosting games down the road there in Santa Clara, but not Santa Clara has first, but they have some of the group play games, which is in June. Much different than the knockout stages and the finals. Nowhere near San Jose. Because I was thinking, oh my gosh, it's an expensive city to begin with, and everybody needs a hotel, and everybody needs an Airbnb and a rental car and all that. But no, they're separated. They're separate. You don't mess with World Cup reservations.
I'm glad you thought of that.
Yeah.
No, we would not. There'd be no Airbnbs available right now.
Absolutely.
How much integration do you think there will be this year versus last year? Now that we're all in one place, do you think there will be a vendor village the entire time? Will there be a shared vendor village? Will it be separate? What do you think they're going to do?
Well, you and I both weren't up in Albany this year. They were in an arena setting. I didn't know what the vendor village setup was there. You were in Fort Worth the year prior, and wasn't vendor village kind of it was in another place. It was away from Dickies.
Yep.
And the ideal setup was, obviously, we're talking Madison again, where you had to walk through vendor village to get to North Park or to get around to the Coliseum. Here you have an arena, SAP arena, so that takes you back to Albany and Dickies in Fort Worth. So where do you put it? Maybe you put it in the convention center, which might bring more folks over to the the age groups here.
Yeah, that would be interesting. And I tried to look on a map to see how far it was, and it was very hard to truly determine. I'm sure people have already looked it up, but to me it looked like walking distance, but like within a mile of each other walking distance, and that's not super close. Like under and over under a highway, like
stoplights, crosswalks, traffic.
Yeah,
it's not like around the corner.
Well, it's I mean, like anything else, there's always just so many questions. And so many logistics to figure out. As far as the CrossFit Athlete Council, we haven't heard anything specific about that. Nothing has come up about that. And as soon as we do, or if we hear anything, we'll certainly share and provide feedback to HQ when requested. And we'll fire off anything we've got as well whenever people have stuff for us. Okay, Rick, semifinals. We
Tell
have
us.
we have we have the in-person semifinals, and it was brought to my attention at Legends. It's just a good buddy of mine. Well, Mike McCaslin, might as well just say his name. He's a data guy, right? He
Hmm.
thinks through data and numbers and spreadsheets and all this. And he brought up a good point about the timeline of semifinals. It's really interesting because we have after quarterfinals,
Okay.
the timeline goes like this. You'll first have, and I don't have the dates in front of me, but after quarterfinals, you will have the Legends semifinal in Del Mar.
Right.
A following week, you'll have the Magic City semifinals in
Right.
Birmingham. The next week is the online semifinals,
Right. That's first
which
weekend May. First
people
full
punch
weekend
their
May.
ticket. So we've got 2 in-person semifinals and then online, and then 3 more in-person semifinals afterwards, which
For
creates
our
an
age groups,
interesting
it'll be
dilemma.
6 more spots. 2 in Australia, 2 in Colombia,
Right.
and 2 in France. Yeah.
Yep. Correct. Tricky situation. So here would be an example of so let's say that I go out to Legends and compete at the Legends semifinal.
Right.
Which is probably the plan, by the way. I may head out there. I think I'm going to head out
Okay.
and compete in California. Yes, the Magic City is in my backyard here.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that is the perfect scenario. But I want to. I mean, between you and me, Rick, don't tell anyone else.
Right.
I'm kidding, because we're recording this. But no, I want to try to punch my ticket so that I can be in a support role for Magic City Games, online semifinal, LATAM
Correct.
semifinal, Torian Pro, and French Soda. I want to be at every single one of those if I can,
Ooh.
and support Masters athletes if I can get there. I want to go there. I want to support Boulder athletes. I want to support all the Masters athletes, and I would love to punch my ticket, get that out of the way. So I'm very
Get
much
your
thinking
passport
about.
ready.
I know. Seriously, I actually do need to do that. So that I want to throw that out there. So Masters athletes in the 50+ division are like trying to ask me, hey, where are you competing? Because it's going to affect where they compete. Well, I think I might compete at Legends. I really think I might compete out there.
All right.
So there's that. But that's I did want to tell you that and say that out loud. But the other thing that gets interesting. So let's take someone like Kane Hayes. He's in Australia.
Sure. Yep.
He will punch his ticket wherever he goes. He would win Torian Pro probably. But if he does the online semifinal, which he will,
Correct,
because it's before Torian Pro, he'll probably punch his ticket in the online semifinal, which means he'll take that spot. He will not compete in Torian Pro.
Right. Good point.
And
what does that do
mean,
to? Those two.
Does that mean
spots or 3 spots?
He's going to take. He's going to take a spot. If you qualify via online semifinal, you cannot qualify via in person. So he's not going to be in person. Now there's going to be 2 more spots. So the question comes up about, is it fair?
Yep.
Is it fair that he could take that spot? Someone else, 2 other people will take the other open spots. Does that mean the best aren't getting to the games? I think the ultimate question is that people will have whenever there's an online semifinal, especially an in-person semifinal, especially when the online semifinal is not a last chance semifinal. This isn't done after all the in-person.
That's why HQ did the last chance, because they gave people all the opportunities to qualify in person, and when they couldn't or didn't, what's left? There's nothing left than the last chance.
Yeah.
You put it in the middle. I'm glad you guys brought this up, and I didn't know you were going to talk about this. When you put it in the middle, it doesn't fall right evenly.
It messes it up. Yeah. It just messes it up. And look, I applaud HQ for starting this process. And like anything else, year 1, you're just like, okay, thank God we've got it. But what were you thinking by putting it there? I understand that they can't have. So if the LATAM is the last one and it's in like early June, that would mean that our last chance semifinal would be like middle of June. And
correct.
I think HQ is producing shirts. There is apparel that has. It's too late. It's too late in the timeline to do something after that, right? Is that why they did it?
The second week of June works for a qualifier online if you have the games like we had in Birmingham that were Labor Day weekend.
Right.
Or
Correct.
this past, which was the weekend before, when you have a third week of July date, there's no turnaround time. You're very up
Right.
against it at that point. That's the
And
odd,
all they have to do at that point
interesting
is,
part by moving the games up so
yeah,
far for Masters.
yeah. And like they'll have to figure out the jerseys for those remaining athletes at LATAM that qualify. It's the only one that's left.
Uh-huh.
And the invites, I mean, so for elite or for Masters athletes, I'm assuming that if I qualify at Legends,
Mhm.
that I'll get my games invite that week. Or I mean,
Yeah.
or am I going to wait 4 months, 2 months
No,
to get?
no, no, no,
Will
no,
my
no. I
invite
think
come after that? It'll come then.
you pass a drug
And if I
test,
accept
you
it,
get
I
your
will not
invite,
compete.
you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I hope they do drug tests at semifinals. That would be
I think that was the
phenomenal if
plan.
they do a drug
I
test.
thought that I had heard
If they
that.
do that, that's going to be just that'll be actually amazing. So, but if they do that, all that to say, punch my ticket. Then that means I cannot or will not compete in any other. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Rick. It goofs the whole thing up when you have
Right.
this. Now, on the other hand, again, perfect scenario is that you have a last chance qualifier, and hopefully they do that next year, and that will be feedback that's absolutely provided to HQ.
Right.
But if let's say you came down and competed at Magic City,
Right.
and shoot, you don't make it. Let's say you compete in the online qualifier, you don't make it. Could you, if you were invited, could you go compete at the other 3 in-person semis? I mean, I know they're invites; they'll have different invites and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm always curious. I'm always curious as the rules around how that works. You know, if I don't
if you have
make
the budget, if you have the budget and the time off of work, I guess you could. Guess you could.
I mean, yeah, the ROI is not there. I mean, as far as financial,
Yeah.
like if you travel, if you
Gosh.
spend $50,000 to do this, you're not making that back. But I'm glad you see that, and we want to
Yeah.
acknowledge that. I think you and I both see, and what a lot of Masters athletes see, that while the in-person semifinals are very exciting, very welcome, gives such a great opportunity to compete at the highest level in multiple venues. I mean, this is fantastic. The timing is a little off in year 1, and with a good push and some feedback, hopefully they'll be planning that into the next year with, again, maybe again next year, probably not a unified Indy and age group games. So then the age group games maybe is back into later August. Then you can have the semifinal later, which is again the gap between quarterfinals and semifinals would be significant, but at least you'd have this in-person path and then a last chance qualifier for those last, 5, 10, 15 spots, whatever it is, depending on the age group.
It's still our sport. We still enjoy it. We have a lot of fun with it.
100%.
It gives us a lot of heartache as well. But what have we learned since 2019 with this qualification process? Let's just wait 12 months because it's going to change again.
Right, whatever. It's whatever it is, it'll be different next year.
Absolutely.
Speaking of what is the same this year, and you brought this up before the call, what's the same this year as it was last year? Quarterfinals, rulebook is released. Quarterfinals have to be done in an affiliate,
Register
with a
affiliated
certified
standard.
which will impact your process because you will have to travel for that. And then what was the semifinals release or online semifinals? Same as last year.
Yep. Same as last year.
So that is a head judge with an L1 and
a type of L1 or higher.
Advanced judges course.
Yes, an advanced judges course. So when those judges courses come out, just take the advanced judges course. It just saves you some time and headache. It's usually released in January. What is it, $10? $20?
It lasts for 3 years, apparently, right? Wasn't that the
wait,
incentive
I don't
last
have
year?
to do it. That's right. We don't have to do it. That's
I know,
great.
We're in. Like I did it last year, and
year.
we're clear for 3 years.
I think your little certificate even gave you the 3-year window on it. So that's right. Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot. Okay. So
Man,
a lot of
I'm
people
making you money right now.
Yes, you are. You're saving me. Yeah, a lot of people did that last year because it was new.
Yeah.
And there was scrambling for judges all over the world. So this should work out well for them. One less piece to
It does take
do.
A little bit of logistics around that in-person semi. I keep saying in-person in affiliate semifinals.
Yeah, in affiliate.
So you do have to plan for that. You have to plan to have enough judges for each
Mhm.
individual that's competing, as well as that head judge, which was it was a challenge, but it was doable last year. I think this year now it'll be the second year doing that. Like we'll have it
Mhm.
even more figured out. Um, as far as those athletes that came down and did it with me down here in Birmingham last year, we are going to do that again this year for athletes that need a place to do their in-person their in-affiliate
Village
semifinal.
semifinal. Right.
We'll have a head judge. We'll have multiple judges. I will likely not be competing myself, so I can throw my hat in the ring and judge as well. Just, if you come down, Rick, I will
Correct.
just
No
I
rep
will
me.
extreme no rep you if necessary. The
I
best no
hope
rep I
Dave
got
Hardy
last year.
travels over.
He'll come over hopefully. If Dave is listening, Dave, we want you again. But last
Absolutely.
year we had that dumbbell walking lunge and then snatch and then burpee and then just box jump overs to finish.
Yep, just
On
finish,
like my
a sprint.
49th box jump over, I tipped over the box and just yard sailed on the ground.
Yep.
So I goofed up I tipped over the box and I had to retest it. But I was laying on the ground and my judge did give me a visual no rep as I was laying on the ground, and it was awesome. Becca was best judge, and it was a no rep. It was I clearly did not complete the rep appropriately, so I took the no rep. And what I should have done is I should have gotten up and finished the workout. I just was like, well, I guess I'm done. I had 2 reps to go, and I fell down, and I stopped.
Oh,
I should have just
really?
finished it. Yeah, I did.
That's right. I
My
forgot
thought
that
was I
story.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't beat my previous time. So I had a soft elbow in my first take on that
Okay.
workout. On dumbbell snatches, my right arm was not locking out the way I would like it to lock out in a video. It just was strangely little soft. So I redid it,
Mhm.
fell off the box, and then in just a stupor was like, I fell off the box. I guess I'll have to redo it. I could have got up and done 2 more box jump overs and
still had
a really good time. Instead, I just waited till later in the afternoon and I did the workout a 3rd time for funsies.
See, that's conditioning, because I did not want to have anything to do with that thing again. But I'll be different this year.
It was gross,
That's fine.
bro.
The Birmingham Chamber
but the
of
no
Commerce.
rep was great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because of visual. The Birmingham Chamber of Commerce will send you another thank you letter for that blip in economic activity as you bring all the Boulder athletes down for
I mean,
sales tax,
as they should.
restaurants,
yes,
everything else. So
I mean,
Boulder
that's
athlete
it.
community
And
live in large.
the after party here at my new house. I mean, obviously afterwards, there'll be some pool time and hot tub time and some some athletic brew, non-alcohol beer, just to and pizza. Obviously, this is what you do to
Yes.
finish off. So
Cops never get called when there's athletic brew in there.
that's good. No, they never get caught. I mean, we could. And what's funny about athletic brew is it really fills you up. If you drink 3 of them, you're like, I'm good. I am good. I literally can't drink anymore. Rick,
Excellent.
this is all I know for the week. Lastly,
Yes.
we have our favorite Christmas, and you've all been waiting. I know everybody has just been just waiting for this. Like what are the favorite Christmas foods for you, Rick?
Those that have stuck it out long enough. There's a few of you left there. All right.
Yep.
In order? We'll each go back and forth. How about that?
You know what? No, in any order, because I can't play favorites on this.
Okay. All
It's
right.
in any order.
And mine are absolutely, completely on a, way off the reservation for each. Candy wise, candy canes.
Fair.
All right.
Okay, I'll take one.
You take one.
Yeah. For me, and again, since we're on the sugar rush, I love eggnog. Was that number 2 for you?
That's
Go
number
ahead.
2 for me. Yeah, absolutely. A good eggnog. We have a local dairy
Yeah.
farm that supplies to this one grocery store, and I do not buy their milk all the other months out of the year, but I will go. They make little glass jars of the best eggnog, and it is the richest, most incredibly delicious eggnog you could ever imagine. I will be enjoying that this year.
What is it about the local dairy? Because we
in
haven't
your
found
head.
one here, but in Colorado, it was that local dairy. And it has to be in a glass jar. It has to be freezing cold, glass jar. One time, Rick, I was on a road trip from Aspen back to Denver. It's like 4 hours. And I was like, you know what would hold me over is like this, like half of a half gallon, whatever half of a half gallon is.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
of a glass jar of eggnog, and I drank the entire thing on this
Jeez.
road trip home.
And you did
Now,
not
this
look
was
at the
before. This was
nutritional.
before fitness. I didn't realize
Okay.
that it was probably about 4,000 calories. I had no idea. Okay, so eggnog for you,
Eggnog for us.
eggnog
Yeah,
for me.
eggnog for you.
Now, this is all sweets. Now, this is a little bit of
Okay,
a Thanksgiving thing, but I have it at Christmas. I love pumpkin pie
Huh?
with whipped
Yeah.
cream. Not
Okay.
without whipped cream, with whipped cream.
With whipped cream.
It is, I get to have it twice a year, and it is, it's my grandmother's recipe. My wife uses my grandmother's recipe, and it is the best pumpkin pie on the planet. There's not been a pumpkin pie that beats it, and that is my number 2.
That's your number 2. All right. I too love pumpkin pie, but we tend to not have that around Christmas. But
You're
I'll go
missing
with my.
out. It's only
Well,
it's totally allowed. Just
they're
so you
still
know,
in the
it's allowed.
stores. I
Okay,
know. Or you have a recipe like
okay,
that. You can still have it. Absolutely.
exactly.
I will go with
Yep.
number 3 and more on the savory side, a good roast beef. It just, to me,
Wow.
Christmas just means roast beef. Now, does that happen in this household every year? Absolutely not. But I have some
Right.
memories, and it just, to me, sings of the holiday. All right, number
So
3.
number 3, number 3 is what we have for breakfast on Christmas morning. This is not a Christmas item. It's just what I have had for 50 years of my life on Christmas
Wow.
morning, every
Okay.
Christmas morning, cinnamon rolls.
Oh.
And
Yum.
not even like homemade. You made this whole amazing
Yeah.
thing, beautiful. So it used to be Pillsbury cinnamon rolls, which are
Oh, yeah.
still, they're amazing. They're
Sure.
weird and amazing. They got these little, I don't know, these little octagons on them, whatever. They're great. But we go with Annie's cinnamon rolls right now, which are still ultra processed from the store. But Annie's, I will indulge in like 3 Annie's cinnamon rolls with all the icing on Christmas morning. It is, in my former life, when I was essentially when I was an alcoholic, really, Christmas morning was eggs, bacon, 3 cinnamon rolls, and
Ooh.
Prosecco or mimosas, essentially.
Yeah, sure.
And it was delightful. I would finish a bottle of Prosecco. I mean, my wife would have like a half a glass, and somehow the bottle would be gone, and it'd be noon.
I was gonna say
In my new
11:30.
life, there are delicious non-alcoholic versions of Prosecco,
Sure.
champagne, sparkling wine,
Yep.
whatever. It is
Sparkling.
delicious, and so not drinking now in my life is just fine. I'm actually coming up, Rick, on almost 2 years, and
Thumbs up.
I really don't mind these things. It's a lot less calories, and I don't need a nap at noon on Christmas unless I eat 4 Annie's cinnamon rolls.
You stuck to the sweets. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
All sweets. I can't believe I mean,
know.
sometimes it's turkey, sometimes it's ham. I
Mhm.
mean, when it comes down to it, man, if I could just have 4 burgers on Christmas afternoon,
Christmas.
that's what I want. We all know this. All I want is, I just want meat salad. If I could have meat salad, it'd
I
be
had
a
a
dream
burger
come true on
tonight.
Christmas.
Grilled it
I'm
a
having
few
burgers
days
tonight.
ago. See? Perfect.
I can smell them. All right, my friend.
Right.
Hey, if
Please,
we
please
don't have an
leave
episode out between now.
Well, I was going to say, please put on your story on Christmas Day, if you can remember, a picture of whatever cinnamon rolls you have. I think if people
You've
they
got
would
it.
love to see that. Absolutely do that.
I will.
So, yes.
100% I will. Yes. And to you, if I don't see you, I'm sure I'll talk to you between now and then.
Oh, yes.
Hope you
We'll
have
talk.
a great holiday week next week. 12 days of Christmas. You would still need to do a modified version of that on Wednesday, but for bolder athletes, the 12 day of Christmas will be on Christmas Eve. It
Okay.
is gnarly, and you will very much deserve cinnamon rolls the next
all of
morning.
it.
100%. You'll be needing all the recovery.
Excellent.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. And we'll see you after.
They say performance has an expiration date. But what if they're wrong? No matter where you start, the goal's the same: to be better, stronger, wiser, bolder. We're here for the relentless, those that don't back down, don't compromise, and don't quit. This is training for Masters athletes by Masters athletes, with a community that holds you steady. So say goodbye to random workouts, because whether you're stepping into following a program for the first time or stepping onto the podium, your journey starts here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Masters in Motion podcast. We'd be so grateful if you could take a moment to leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or your preferred podcast app. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us reach more listeners and grow our Masters community. Until next time, get bolder, not older.